It's the weekend.
Warriors.
Warriors, come on to play.
Yeah, here we go.
Good Saturday morning, everybody. We are broadcasting live from the Weekend Warriors studios in beautiful Peoria, Arizona. I'm Ralph Romano. Alongside my partners in crime, of course, there's the legendary Phil. Check out my chest, Amarine. Boom. And then we have Mr. Luke. I'm never wrong. Right.
Very true.
And this is the Weekend Warriors.
Yes, and if you want...
And there's Phil.
Sorry, I was caught up in a horrible sports quote before the show. Anyways, if you would like to be quoted on the show, a la join the show, a la be a part of the show, a la...
Look, this isn't a religious show. Stop saying Allah.
Oh, that's good.
That was actually really good.
Gosh dang it. I hate it when he's on top of it in the morning. When you want to join the show for commentary, we will read most, and I do say most, of whatever it is that you put out there. If not, Ralph will work hurriedly to hide what you said. But until that moment, we will at least not acknowledge it, and we will try our best to read it on the show. If not, you are indeed sexy, which could be any one of you, even though we know who is the sexiest. And how do you get upon the show? You may ask. You join us wherever you are watching us live right now, whether that be Instagram, Twitter, formerly continuously known as X, Facebook, where else? YouTube. Look at Ralph.
He's been doing this for months.
I mean, it's been years now, not months.
Dasani? That feels like
you still don't know where we are.
Anyways.
You have dementia at 30. I mean, that's crazy.
Join us wherever you want. It's early in the gosh darn morning for a weekend, even for a warrior. Huzzah!
It's 10 a.m.
Some of us don't wake up until 2.
Okay, so thank you, Phil. We've got a great show today, actually. We're going to hit the NBA. We're going to hit the NHL. A lot of stuff going on there. We got some NFL stuff to talk about. Maybe some controversial stuff, too.
Yeah, on that, I don't think we should say hit.
And then we'll finish up this whole beautiful 2 hours with a little bit of MLB.
Yes, absolutely.
A little bit of MLB. But first and foremost, my favorite sport, my favorite thing to talk about, how bad the Knicks suck. Yes, I'm talking to you, Knick fans, who attacked me and Mr. Wright badly on social media this week because you finally have a team doing something that you know is not going anywhere. And you're upset because we told you the truth. It's okay.
Well, for one team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, it was certainly a day that should not be memorialized.
It should.
Hey. Analytical Game 7's tomorrow.
So that is something that I do want to start this out on.
Go for it. All you, muscles.
So for the 4 games that we had the chance to see the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were thoroughly beaten. Obviously, factually, 4 games in a row. Just beaten, plain and simple. However, with 2 games left to go in an ultimate series, we saw the Cleveland Cavaliers head coach, head superstar, and a superstar of a bygone era, all collectively lose their gosh diggity darn minds. And in the form of it starts from the head down, starting with the head coach saying, somehow giving one of the worst quotes that I thought very, very closely could have resulted in his firing. Thank God Cleveland doesn't have a Quicken loan to need to pay up for his contract buyout. However, Kenny Atkinson somehow coming out with the quote that if you look analytically, somehow being down 0-3, we should have won 2 out of the 3 games. If you look analytically, if you fudge the numbers and you take out a run here and there, analytically, Ralph, we should be up 2-1. But factually, which is just, the crud of it all, factually, we're down 0-3. It's just amazing to me how that can happen. Luke had thoughts on that particular quote. However, it did not end there, the onslaught, as Donovan Mitchell was somehow saying that it's incredible just how much hate James Harden gets for these moments when he's a true Hall of Fame player. And really, we think about the end result when really it's the process about it all. And excuse me, James Harden just perennially is known for two things. One is on his face and one he has to wear perpetually. And the second one being that he is awful in closeout games. The first being that he's a beard man.
Figured that out, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And James Harden, of course, saying that by the end of the sweep, when it was completed, you know what? Gosh darn it, I know that we're the better team. We just, obviously the results are what the results are. Yeah! The results are what the results are. You just got swept, but somehow you're the better team. Luke, make sense of it. Make sense of this nonsense.
There is no making sense of it. It's a ridiculous thing. This is your moment. This was when Knicks fans should have gotten their flowers. Hey, you came in, you did what you were supposed to do. You swept the Cavs in 4. You played great. You had a great comeback in game 1. You did everything you were supposed to do. And the Cavs should have done the smart thing. Should have fired Kenny Atkinson. Should have immediately figured out where they can ship off James Harden. They should have immediately started
in a period where they can't trade him.
No, yeah, but you need to
immediately.
You
Ship
break
to Alaska.
You break the tampering rules, and you already start seeing what you could do. First of all, let's not pretend like
Shams comes out the next day.
Yes.
It is rumored, heavily implied, that James Harden will be a part of the Utah Jazz tomorrow.
No. I'm thinking like the Shanghai Sharks at this point.
Shanghai Sharks.
Like
he does big business in China.
He does. It's just crazy. Like as someone who does like analytics, you cannot sit there and pretend like analytics wins you the game. You still have to play the game. The point of analytics is that it puts you in the best position to win a game. But at the end of the day, if you go out there and you don't execute, doesn't matter if you've quote unquote analytically won. What matters is what the final score says. Because analytically, Harden should already have a finals appearance and shouldn't have missed 27 straight threes back in game 7 when he was with the Rockets against the Warriors.
Ralph, can I give you the quote directly here? Analytically, we are 2 out of the 3 in the expected score. We've won 2 out of the 3. If you believe in process and all that, take that layer. Us shooting way below expected, them shooting way over. No one wants to hear that. The general public doesn't want to hear it. Everyone is outcome based. Sure, I get that too.
Correct.
Layered in there elsewhere is like him openly acknowledging he knows he's going down the wrong side of the freeway, and still he doesn't swerve. He's still driving with confidence, full-throated confidence, saying, "I know you're looking at me crazy." To like the grouped up performer, the reporters out there, but he just cannot get out of his own way. And there's also, which is frustrating, there's a way that you could have said this without even putting out there. Like I think that what this is that you should have had this portion in your silo, in the trust tree of the locker room, saying, guys, we should have won this. Like we are better than this. That's one conversation. To go out to the world and just come out with this weak sauce. Never in my life could I ever see Ralph Romano be a part of this Little League team and saying, guys, we should have won the Little League World Series because we're the better team. And I'm going to go tell those reporters something. I'm going to give them a thing or two to think about. Like it would never happen. Ralph Romano has way more sense than Kenny freaking Atkinson, who is responsible for at least one game. I put one game on him in this 4-game series.
Did you want me to say something?
I don't know.
Because I really don't want to say anything about this.
I know you don't.
I just don't.
You don't want to go through and hit your dump button?
He wants the other side of the team. And the other.
I want to talk Knicks, but okay. I know you guys are getting
one last thing.
Get your Cav out.
Yeah, one last thing before we dismiss the Cavs as they've been dismissed.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah. It is outrageous to say that at any point in time you were the better team when the end result is that you lost by 11, 16, 13, and it is with a bit of an asterisk because it's a closeout game. You knew where the wind was blowing. The fart was getting desensitized by the end. But 37 points on game 4 and a closeout game that you could have at least exited the series with your head held high. You could have left with some modicum of self-respect.
The process that they keep talking about is what you build towards. The Suns are concerned with the process.
Yeah.
The Magic are concerned with the process. The Pistons are concerned with the process. These are younger teams that are trying to work through and become winners and have a future. When your number 2 star is 37 years old or 36 years old and your number one star is about to hit 30 and you need desperately to keep him, you are at the end of the process. You should not be continuing to talk about, oh, well, we got to trust the process. No, there's no more. It's just the execution now. We are past the process. Now you have to trust the execution, and you did not execute.
So we move along from the Cleveland Cavaliers, as many people in their context and history want to. We go to the other side, to Madison Square Garden, where the New York Knickerbockers have had not only one of the most impressive playoff runs in NBA history, but the most impressive 11-game stretch, not just in the playoffs, but in the NBA total. If you look at least at point differential and just how impressive. Yes.
The most impressive.
Yes. If you look at point differential.
Are you that impressed?
If you're looking at it analytically.
Analytically, they've won.
You and your analytics.
Hey.
I remember a host of this show one day saying stats don't matter.
Just how my feelings are.
Yes. It wasn't me.
Yes.
Anyway, go ahead.
But the New York Knicks have looked incredibly dominant over in the East. They have been resting now for the better part of 2 games, about to be 3, waiting to pounce on whichever team comes out of the West, as they will be flying over there, whether it be San Antonio, heavens to Betsy, or even if it's Oklahoma City Thunder, enjoy the Red Lobster. Whichever way they go, they will be away from the humble home of Madison Square Garden. They are itching, gearing, ready to go, with only one injury to speak of Mitchell. Not Mitchell, Robinson, excuse me, broke his pinky finger, and it's a bit of a faux pas on whatever it is that he did in order to have that. But the Knickerbockers, to be fair, are back in the finals.
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson. So that's where you got the Mitchell
from. Yes, thank you.
For the first time in 27 years?
Since 1999. Do you know that has been since the invention of the smartphone?
Mitchell Robinson was a year old when they last went.
He had a full functioning pinky at that point.
Well,
so
you don't know that.
We look at the New York Knickerbockers, who have been so dominant, so thoroughly just a behemoth in these playoffs, that they have convinced me. I am the lone voice of reason and sanity on this show, because I'm the only person who's able to have a modicum of humility and be able to say, you know what? They have been so impressive. I actually am going to hesitate before saying that the championship is in the West. That's all that I'm saying.
And just to hesitate.
And so far, I'm the only voice between the 3 of us who at least has some self-respect to give myself that grace. And I very well might pick the Knicks to not lose game 1.
I dare you.
I very well might.
Yeah,
I dare you.
To not lose game 1.
I haven't done my analytics. I haven't done my exploration of the series yet. I don't even know who they're facing. That greatly determines a winner, often case. However, Ralph is over here saying that they are a pansy.
I didn't say that.
That they're a ballerina in bear's clothing.
Didn't say that.
And that they are somehow the errant child of the great nation that we have here, because they are frauds. They are a sham mockery.
I'm going to cut his mic.
Ralph, explain yourself.
So first off, I want to thank you, the New York Knicks and their fans, because of you, I actually want to watch the finals now, because I had no interest in this final. I had no interest in the NBA. It's just such a boring sport. It's gone so downhill. We've talked about this, but because of your arrogance and your stupidity, I now want to watch this, because you're going to get swept. Maybe if the gods smile down on you, maybe you'll win 1 game. Maybe. One, if you're lucky. Let's hope that the gods are on your side and you get 1. But it's always fun to watch New York fans, New York sport fans, who just have been disappointed year after year after year with all your teams, where you think they're always great. Once in a while, one will actually get to a final or a World Series, and we know what happens there. You Aaron Judge it, and you're gone, right? So you're in this finals. Congratulations. You're the New England Patriots. You got to win the Eastern Conference, the worst, weakest conference in basketball, with no competition whatsoever left to tackle. You won. Good for you. Now you're going to face either these weird looking Wemby-ish San Antonio Spurs or the champions OKC. I still say you're probably going to face OKC. We'll see. I'm still on that one. But I don't think you have a prayer, not a single prayer of winning the NBA championship. You're delusional right now. Go buy your t-shirts. Go buy your hats that say NBA Finals on them. That's cool. It's always fun to do. Have your little logo next to the symbol. I think that's awesome. But when it comes to the one that says the champion, yours will be sold in Africa. They'll be given away to tribe people. There'll be a bunch of kids in Uganda walking around in orphanages with New York Knicks champions in 2026. That'll be the hat. But it won't be in this country, and it won't be in this finals because you don't have a prayer of winning this finals. I'm sorry. You guys I think you guys agree with me. You just don't want to speak the truth. You're trying to be soft. Oh, they're only going to win maybe the first game. Stop the softness. They don't have a prayer, and you guys know it.
Luke, the Houston Texans became a thing in 2002. That is how long since the New York Knickerbockers have been there. That's 2002. We look at the potential matchups, and I think that there's a better matchup for the Knicks. I think that there's one where they stand a chance.
Stop.
And it is the San Antonio Spurs. Are you saying, regardless of which team wins the game 7 that we will talk about here in a moment, that the New York Knicks stand 0 chance to win the championship?
I will give them.
Don't do it.
I will give them a biscuit. 2.5% chance. 2.5%.
And that's still too much. But go ahead.
I mean, here's the thing.
Wow. Regardless of opponent. And that's like the worst opponent.
You know what? I'll say it this way.
Please.
2.5% chance against the Thunder.
Okay.
I'll go 10%. I'll go all the way up to 10% if they have to play the Spurs.
4x.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's how numbers work.
Wow. It's hard. The best thing that they have going for them is that they will be well rested.
Yes.
However, I mean, they're going to have almost, I think, 2 weeks of rest basically by the time they've played their last game and the first game of the final starts, I believe, on June 3rd. So they're going to have a week and a half worth of rest. Honestly, we could probably even say that they didn't play much on game 4 with how big of a blowout that was.
Well, they had a lot of cardio to blaze right past James Harden. Like that's
true.
A lot.
That is true. They're going to be rested, but at the same time, the Spurs and Thunder are going to have 3 days of worth of rest, and neither of them will have to travel as well. I think it's going to be a hard situation. I think the Knicks will win a game, regardless of who their opponent is. I do think that they'll win a game.
Okay.
I think that if they play the Spurs, they might even be able to get a second win, because I think that you're looking at 2 really inexperienced teams when it comes to finals. I think the Thunder having won, I know that it was close. I know if Halliburton doesn't get hurt, there's a very, very, very good chance that they lose game 7 and they're not a champion at all. But they have more experience. At the end of the day, I'm going to go Spurs winning both tonight and the finals.
Shocker.
But
the man who holds a ticket.
I will say
for a full In-N-Out dinner.
Yeah. I will say that I do believe that the Knicks they're not going to win. They're not.
All right. So let's invoke and involve, shall I say, the social medias as we get through the show. We do have Blissful Haze on the chat over there. Good morning, Weekend Warriors. Have a great weekend, as we Warriors tend to do. And of course, we have Bitter Dolphin fan also bringing up a good point. Was James Harden's downfall coming from dating a Kardashian years ago? And I do find this to be interesting only because we do have conflicting curses going on here. Where one, the Kardashian curse is prominent. It is. I mean, I don't even remember who her first husband was. Kim's husband in the NBA. Haven't seen him since. He got blocked from the NBA.
Lamar Odom?
No, wow, no. I think that was
the other Kardashian.
Yeah,
that was the other one.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
This one I think was it Chris Humphries?
Yes, that sounds right.
Or is that a different Kardashian as well?
Yeah, no,
they spread them around.
But
kind of like they were bruised.
The current curse would be Kylie is currently dating Timothy Chalamet, and because she is dating him, I mean, in spite of the Knicks making the finals, I mean, they are very prominent on the side of the court, as Timothy Chalamet is spending upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'm sure, to make those seats and be constantly there. I mean, he's darn near hoisting up the Eastern Conference Finals trophy himself. I mean, he's right there practically on the court each.
Are we considering that a Kardashian curse? Because it's technically a Jenner, and also they're not dating a player, they're just dating a fan.
Oh, that's interesting.
So is that we'll really find out how bad the curse is if it affects him here.
No, but bitter Dolphin fans making a very good point. I mean, if you look at athletes, a lot of times they get married to the wrong person, especially if they're Hollywood people that they marry. And what happens to their careers? They go downhill.
Haven't heard of Tony Romo. Oh, wait.
Look at Russ Wilson. Sierra destroyed him. The day he married that woman, the day that happened, his career went down.
I need you to find out what date that was, Luke.
That hour that he said, I do, his career went in the toilet.
The day he married.
2016.
Toilet.
Is when they got married.
Toilet.
I think he made a lot of money since then.
He had the best year money of his career since then.
Toilet.
Speaking of toilets, I do think that the Knicks hold more than a toilet's chance in hell.
No, you don't.
For winning the NBA championship. Percentages? I would say for the Thunder. Analytically, I think they hoist a very good chance over the Thunder strictly because of injury.
Numbers.
I would go with, honestly, 25%.
Oh, you're right.
To beat the Thunder?
To beat the Thunder strictly. Think about it. The Thunder, who has the better starting five amongst those two without Jalen Williams? I think a starting five, strictly a starting five, I think it's the Knicks. Now, in waves and depths, into where whenever any of the five are subbed out and we go to bench units, the Thunder are going to win those minutes time in and time out. Like Landry Shamet can only be a hero many times, and the Thunder will throw defenders upon him. So I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but they will stand a chance.
25 is aggressive.
And then for the Spurs,
it's going to go higher.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I'm going to go.
I would go higher with the Spurs. I did go higher with the Spurs.
Well, but 2 to 10. This guy's going to go 25.
I would go 47%.
So it's a coin flip.
A little less than.
But it's a coin
47 flip. Because, Ralph, I believe in my heart and in my soul that they will be winning game one. And once you steal game one, do you know what also you steal?
I'm waiting.
Home field advantage in their heart.
Your heart is clogged and your soul is black. That's all I can see. You're wrong.
Do you know what frenzy, what absolute mania? Because out of all the fandoms that just get business commodified and just business centric, whenever we go to these ultra rich championship rounds, Madison Square Garden is not that. There are a bunch of rich Knicks fans who are genuine fans who will be there
crying on the sideline
and hollering.
Oh my goodness! Did you see that?
Anytime there's a monster dunk from anybody from a Knick, they will just rain down hellfire. You think that there's going to be some fun jabbing at Wemby now whenever they go on the road to the Oklahoma City Thunder, incorporating their own nuns in the audience?
Spike Lee might get punched in the face.
From who? Oh, well, yeah, I know.
From Wemby, because Wemby's a beast.
Wemby might call out a code red on Spike Lee. Yeah, you watch.
He's got plenty of bench people to send out hits.
Ben Stiller, you done a basketball movie before, and Along Came Polly, where along comes my fist in your face, Ben Stiller.
Did you see the tears the other night? It was so emotional.
They were happy.
It was emotional. I mean, with all their money and fame, the Knicks won, and they were crying.
I think James Harden used his beard to cry.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so touching to watch. These guys are such idiots in New York. My goodness.
I'm telling you. You will feel a lot differently when you see how it has happened. A sweep. It is not
sweep. I am pulling for a sweep.
We can do an in-and-out bet on
and I'm talking a blowout on every game. That would be beautiful.
Now, that could happen. It just would go both ways. Okay. Anyways, we move along from the NBA. We dribble away up court from the NBA.
Wow.
God, that's good.
Wow. I don't know if that was good or...
And let's skate right past that segue.
I do just want to say one thing.
Oh, yes.
Tristan, you're welcome for giving you another chance to segue.
What the puck?
See, that would have been better. To address the comments in the chat, Tristan Thompson was with Khloe Kardashian.
Yes.
How do you guys know this stuff?
I'm literally Googling it.
Against my will.
Because I was getting worried.
No, I literally, if you come over and look, I have 2 tabs, Tristan Thompson, pulled up his Wikipedia, went down to personal.
The evils of O.J. Simpson have still not stopped. They are still amongst us.
Before you move on.
Can we move on? I'm on fire.
That one was good.
So real quick, no explanation needed because we don't need to go into the Hollywood version. Who wins Game 7?
Tonight?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
We have-
Spurs. I already
Spurs?
said that. Yeah.
Okay, you?
I think it's the Thunder.
I think it's a Thunder too. I'm going Thunder.
Boo.
We don't need to explain it, but
Home court, veteran savviness. They've gone to a bunch of Game 7s now, actually, in their recent history on the part of the Thunder.
Can we just stop and sing "Oh Canada" now?
There's no reason to sing Canada because they have been knocked out, Ralph. They have
Shocking.
been eliminated, and we now
Shocking.
have a cup final to talk about. Do you want to talk about the losers, it sounds like? And I say losers factually. You're about to say losers in a different way, in a derogatory way.
No, I mean, we don't have to go deep into it. I mean, we could talk about the fact that the Canadians came out and won that first game, and I think they took advantage of Carolina's sitting. And then Carolina got their wits about them, and they just destroyed them 4 straight. So, bye, Canada. It was nice knowing you. That's another year, no Stanley Cup. But you get to watch an American team raise it, and I think that's good for you to watch. I really want you to do that. So, no, there's no reason to really go into that series. And we know the Vegas series. I mean, the Knights have just been crazy. I'm shocked what they did to the Avs.
So-
the Avs were the best team in hockey
Especially
in the regular season.
Yes, they are. This marks now 12
Shocked.
times in a row, I believe, that the winner of the President's Cup has not won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
This marks a long-going streak of the Canadian teams not making the Stanley Cup finals and not winning. And so now we have a matchup.
they've made it, right?
Just haven't won.
Yeah.
93 is the last time they won, I think.
Right.
Edmonton was there.
Edmonton was there. You're right.
And they just
absolutely.
kept losing.
Yeah.
Yes, they kept losing.
Yes.
So we look at a matchup between the Vegas Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes, one of which we feature a team that should by all rights not make it here in the Golden Knights, who if they were on the other side of the bracket would not be in the playoffs. And you look on the other side and there's a team that shouldn't make it here because the owner probably wouldn't have paid for their airfare. But
Here we go.
here they are matching up. There is a thing of inevitability here. It seems like the Vegas Knights, who just seem to have found magic, have seemed to found a moxie, have seemed to galvanize themselves behind Tortorella, Mr. Tortellini over there,
Wow.
just saying that it's us against the world, and now we are going into the eye of the hurricane, and we're gonna take game 1. Ralph, I need some analysis.
So what you have going on here, besides Tortellini,
You like
which
that?
is,
I know you
is
do.
nice.
It's a little cheesy, but you
So
like it.
this is a really good finals, right? So you have two teams that have really hot goaltenders, right? So Vegas, Carter Hart's got a 2.22 goals against average, 92.4% save. He's hot. He's playing good. They're defensively playing great. They are gelling right now. The fact that they beat that Avs team, in my opinion, was so dominant. They were by far above everybody. And the way they shut them down, and it was just unbelievable to watch, right? So all credit
And
to
in
them.
the fashion that they did, they only led one game
Yeah.
prior to like the end result being their goal winning score.
Yep. And in this series, what you have is two very similar teams. These are low scoring, grinding out teams, right? This is what they do. They're very good defensively. So where you're going to have the difference, in my opinion, is going to a couple things. Number one, who's going to get that power play going a little better than the other team? What player offensively is going to get hot? But more importantly, two really good goalies right now that are really hot. I told you how hot Carter Hart was. Friedrich Anderson for the Canes. Check these numbers out. He's got a 1.41 goals against in the 12 wins. That's amazing. That's hot. That's what you want to see in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs.
Melting the ice.
He's
beneath
melting
his skates.
the ice right now.
Are we still talking about his hockey play?
Yes.
Or?
And the Canes right now are 12-1 in the playoffs. Let's talk about that. You talk about the Knicks being hot. They're 12-1 in the NHL playoffs. That one loss to the Canadians in game 1 where they were coming off that long rest. Other than that, they haven't lost a game. This is going to be a great series for Carolina. I think Carolina is going to raise the cup when this is all said and done. I think they're just that one team that reminds me of that 2012 Kings team that was just so hot that it didn't matter who they play or where they play. They were just going to win. And that's what I get the feeling of this. I'm not taking anything away from Vegas. What Vegas has done by beating the Avs is amazing. But I think it comes to an end against the Hurricanes.
Bitter Dolphin fan brings up a very salient point. Ralph,
Salient.
yes, did the Avalanche team peak too early in the regular season?
I think you can make that argument because they were so dominant the first part of the season. It was stupid. They just weren't losing games, and they did kind of tail off a little at the end. So yeah, I think that's a good statement. It's a good argument. I would agree with that.
Also adds on, how about the Carter Hart's redemption story?
Yeah, I agreed. No, I mean it's good. There's a lot of good in this, Rich. This is a great story on both sides. But let me ask you this question, bitter Dolphin fan: who you got? Who wins this? Are you going with Friedrich? Do you think the Canes are the team? I think they are. Or are you going the other way? Because the Knights are a great story. I don't know. I like the Canes. What do you guys think?
Well, I
you
think
big hockey guys. You
true.
big animal, this guy, and this guy's a duck, and this guy's this.
Very sad there are no birds.
There's
in
no
the
birds.
finals.
We have a weather system, and we have a medieval knight
who's golden,
which
is very impractical.
And bitter
if you think
Dolphin
about
fan
it.
is with me. He's got the Canes.
yes, I do wonder, and I just one more thing just to ingest all the analytics I need, get all the data,
Yeah.
and then I can spit out something for you.
Absolutely.
Ralph,
your
do
data.
you agree? I've often seen it said in the hockey circles that it's playoff hockey. There aren't really home court advantages. There's not really. What are you going to do? Make it a degree cooler? Like there's not much to do. However, the Vegas Knights.
What the?
What is he talking about?
Like, they're not going to salt the pretzels for the away team audience. Like, it's not like there's
It's
not a
not
lot to
totally
do.
true. See, now you're. Excuse me for saying this, but your hockey ignorance is coming out.
I excuse you.
But no, there is some advantages, and you had never played hockey, so you don't understand it, obviously. But some boards play differently. The puck bounces differently off certain boards. There's little things in certain arenas that actually play different than others. So there can be advantages to knowing your home ice versus going on the road.
And just being able to stay at home and be in your own bed.
That as well is typically a very big factor as well. So I wouldn't poo-poo the home ice that much.
Right. But I have
You're
heard,
trying to.
No. Where I was actually going was I heard that the Vegas Knights have one of the best singular home field advantages in all of hockey.
Their atmosphere is really, really good. It's amazing. Have you ever seen like their introduction onto the ice?
I've seen their post game too. Like their post game is even impressive.
It's good.
And I think what's so good about it is that it is like everyone always just kind of assumed, myself included, that if you move a sports team to Vegas, for the most part, you will never have a bad audience because you'll always have people willing to come fly in to see them and make it a weekend or something. Yeah. What I think has been very unique is that Vegas is still a very large city. And I think a lot of people forget that. I think they think of the Strip and that's it. They don't think of all of the suburbs around it. And I think that with the Golden Knights being created there, not moved there, but like this is where they are from. I think so many Vegas people, both natural born Las Vegians, last of the Las Vegians, as well as just the amount of people who kind of moved there, the amount of people who moved there because of, for whatever reason, whether it just be they love gambling or whatever. I say this because
they love showgirls.
I love this. I say this because there's a very famous poker player, Daniel Negreanu.
You got there.
Yes. Who is a Knights fan. He's Canadian, but because he is such a big poker player, he's in Vegas a ton. And so he will be at every Knights game that is in Vegas.
I would agree with you. The fact that team's birthing canal was the Strip, in a sense, the really virtual Strip. They were born. No, they were born there. It's big because they don't really have another professional. The A's were not born there. The Raiders were not born there.
Raiders, I don't even know if they had announced the Raiders would be there when they established this team.
And I actually lived in Vegas for a year when I was first married. I did it to get away from my family.
The Aces were born there.
The Las Vegas Aces?
Yes.
Okay.
I got him. I got him so gosh darn good.
Well, the Aces was a minor league baseball team.
There. Oh my God.
And a WNBA team.
First of all, I was talking about the minor league team, because I think that's more powerful than that other team. But anyway, we're talking sports here. We're not talking Minor, we're talking.
Well, right now we're
major
talking
sports.
about birth canals,
Yeah.
which
which matches the Aces. Anyway,
in a birthing
well,
strip.
half the team anyway. But anyway,
Golly.
I think it's a big deal for people that live there. Actually, I live there, and they are very adaptive to things that happen there. They're very prideful people there. And I think when that team was born, you can see it. I remember going there. They really were all over the Vegas Knights. That was a big deal to them. And so the success they had is better than any other franchise I've ever seen. I think they've been around 9 years. This is their third Cup Finals.
they've already won one.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and they've already won one. They were just smart. They didn't touch the trophy this time because they know can't touch it. So because they touched it the second time. As soon as you touch it, what happens?
It gets too hot.
Yep, it gets too hot and you lose.
Analytics goes right out the window once you touch that trophy.
There's no analytics
Stanley
when you touch.
starts getting out your gourd.
There's a reason they say don't touch. So anyway, I think it's great. This franchise's story is fantastic. It's a great story. The fan base, I think, is fantastic. To your point, I'd rather go spend a weekend in Vegas and go watch the Knights than go spend a weekend in Carolina and do what? Sweat? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do there. But I'm with you.
Sugar?
It makes a lot of sense, right? So I think as much as we're saying all this, I think it's a shame because I think they're going to get beat to heck by this Carolina team. But I think this Carolina team's on a mission. I just think they win this game.
I don't think you've given a prediction, but I will go out on a limb and be brave. For once on this show, I will show my bravery and align myself with those Vegas Knights.
And before you say that, Bitter Dolphin fans' point is the Knights make great trades and draft well. That's one thing they've done really good since their inception. And the Mitch Marner trade was huge for them, and I agree. They remind me a lot of their GM is a lot like John Schneider. He just makes really good moves and knows how to build a team. He's done a great job over there. So I'm sorry I didn't cut you off.
Yeah, it's all right. I forgive you.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to
I could tell, but
I can care less about you. Go ahead.
That's how you call playing defense on the broadcast.
I'm also going to go Knights.
There you go.
I think there's something about momentum. We were just talking about how the Avalanche are
Horrible.
the best team in hockey, and they just beat them.
Yeah, it was huge.
Pretty
Swept
soundly.
them.
Yeah,
Swept them.
it wasn't a close series by any means.
It was one close game.
So I think I'm going to go with the Knights. I love the momentum.
They have a better
I love the
team. They have a better team than their regular season led them to believe. Like, people were upset. That's why they had a midseason firing. John Tortellini would certainly be I know.
I like that.
You. I know you do. And like I said,
Love Tortellini.
when you boil it, it gets a little softer.
It's really good as long as you do it al dente.
Absolutely. So we look over at John Tortellini. He could be the 8th coach to win Lord Stanley's Cup after a midseason acquisition of a head coach, I guess is a weird way to put it. But he could be the
Happens
8th
a lot
one.
in hockey, though.
I know. It's such a weird. Hockey just has some beloved traits over there that it's just like it doesn't
They
usually
just
work
do
in
what
sports.
they want.
I know, but then they find a way.
Analytics be damned.
Oh yeah, no. You talk about Manalytics, that's over there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Knights. They seem to be hot. They seem to have the moxie. They seem to have really just come around and just joined their swords on this campaign towards the Cup.
I see why you both are going that direction because
They feel hot.
it's a sexy pick.
Blistering hot.
You guys are going with I don't really watch a lot of hockey, so I don't understand it that well. Sexy pick, and I get it. That's okay. That's kind of like me in the NBA, right? I get it, right? So I understand that.
Speaking of sexy, we go to our second sexiest commenter, notoriously so, second sexiest. We go to him and Tanner Green.
Grind.
Oh my gosh, can you get it right, Mr. Instagram? Go
One of
ahead.
these times says
Never.
and joins the show. Pains me to side with Ralph. Amen. That's all he said.
Look, Tanner.
He said, "Go Canes."
Tanner.
That is him.
And
endorsed.
Tanner actually does watch more hockey than I do.
Yes.
Then Tanner
Significantly
would
more.
understand.
A
and he
Minnesota.
does.
Yeah,
a
he
Minnesota
agrees
boy-
with you.
Yeah,
He
Minnesota
agrees
boy.
with
I'd imagine why he loves
You
it.
have to look at the tail off at the end of the season for the Avs and what the Canes are doing right now historically with a 12-run run to understand when you say you're going with the momentum is all on Carolina. They're 12-1, dude. That one misstep because they were sat too long. That's it. They've been unbeatable.
I think sweeping the Avalanche are pretty good momentum.
Oh,
though.
I love it, but I'm telling you. Yeah, this is the cat. This is Carolina.
He's telling.
He's telling.
This is going to be. I will be shocked.
Listen, he's going with analytics, and I'm going with my heart.
And it feels odd. It feels wrong.
There's a lot of black hearts in here, but go ahead.
Mhm. Speaking of black hearts,
Talking about the Aces now?
wow. Actually, you know what?
No, we're not talking
All
about.
right, no,
WNBA.
we're not going to the WNBA. We are going to. I just noticed this. That's a
Turn everyone's
mistake.
mic off.
We are going to the NFL. And this is a subject that really we could have done at a couple of different points in the offseason, but we are talking about it now because it's just gosh darn wrong. 10 international games have been approved for the 2027 NFL season. All we can say as a show collective is, ugh.
Yeah.
And you know what is odd is I think we have very different reasons why all of us are just nonplussed by this idea. Ralph, do you want to go first on why you hate that Canada might get a game in 2027?
Canada.
I know.
Do we have games in Canada?
No,
Not yet.
Not yet, but it's coming. There's
You
a
think
lot.
so?
Well, they've already got
they got their football league that sucks. I mean, I think they're happy with it.
I think they want to acclimate to the real thing.
Well, whatever.
Once you've had catsup and you go to ketchup, you can't go back.
Wow. I'm not sure. I think you can. Why do I hate this? Because again, we've beat this a little bit, but I hate, number one, that the games are in the middle of the morning or the middle of the night. I can't stand that as from a viewing perspective. I hate that you give up a home game for your team, which I think is a horrible thing. And like I mentioned the other day, I said there will be a team this next season that will miss the playoffs because of an international game. It'll happen. Something will have happened in an international game that they should have won. If they were probably home, they would have won. That they went over there and they lost, and it's going to affect their season. I can't stand the travel. I think it's ridiculous. I don't like having to do all this hubbubaloo to go all the way overseas to put on this dog and pony show for these people that most of them can care less. And you play those games and you come back and it just messes up your system. It messes up your rhythm for a season. I don't like it. I don't think any of these teams should have to do this. I'm a fan of starting NFL Europe and having a separate league. I think that's fine. I know it wasn't successful last time. If there really, truly is all this want for football over there, maybe it'll be more successful. I just don't like this. I'm not a fan. I'm glad the Seahawks are not partaking in this. It's going to be hard enough with them having 6 primetime games to have to try to find a rhythm. That makes it hard as it is. But if you add an international game or two into that, man, it makes it so much tougher. So I'm glad they're not playing it.
Oh, wow. I just thought of it. And the number one reason why Ralph doesn't want this is because coupled with this quote is that Asian markets such as Japan have complexities due to travel, but are important to the league and could be explored as future sites.
Asian markets?
Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the quote.
Japan.
Yeah.
Do you know what team is going to be number one on the draft list of what team's going to play in Japan?
Yeah, Seattle.
Seattle. That's why Ralph doesn't want it. What's the outside of Australia would be the number one travel atrocity that you get plucked and drafted as a team. Number 2 is going to be Japan. Because that is just you lose a day, you win a day, you come back and it's wonky.
I disagree with you. I don't think Australia would be the number one because I think time zone wise, what would that do? I mean,
Australia's
is 18 hours.
Australia's worse than Japan.
The flight's long, but I mean, time of day, are they completely different?
Oh, well, I mean, are you saying from a
I have no
viewer's
idea. That's
perspective?
what I'm asking.
Are you saying from an audience perspective?
Yeah, I'm saying if a game is playing in Australia at noon, what time is it here?
Oh, you're looking at the difference of, I think, only an hour or two. I don't think the time difference between Japan and Australia is that different.
I think the time zone has more impact than the actual miles, if that makes sense.
I suppose, but also you could.
That's my opinion.
But keep in mind, I'd have to. Somebody way smarter than me would have to come up with the thought of when do I lose a day? Because if I lose a day in the run up and it's not game 1 of the season for that 18 days, such as the Rams and the 49ers are about to experience, losing a day in the run up to a game actually is something of a benefit that you, in a weird way, gain a day on the back end whenever you're coming back to the States.
If I'm playing in Australia and it's 10:45 here right now, it's only 11:45 in Australia. That's not a big deal.
Well,
if I'm playing
from a viewer's perspective,
if I'm playing in India, let's just say, right now in India, it's 11:15 at night. That just messes you up more than just that 1 hour. Yeah, it's a long way to get there. I get that, but it just seems like when the zones are more in line, like if you go to Mexico City and play, that's not a big deal. It's an hour. It's maybe an 8-hour flight. It's an hour time zone. No big deal.
Yeah, but I mean, that's such a long flight. You're essentially losing half a day in flights alone. Yeah. I wonder if on the flights you can.
But that has less impact.
To give this a little bit more perspective, there's a 1 hour difference between Tokyo, which is where I'm assuming they would play the game, and Sydney. So it time zone wise, I don't think it really makes a difference. Flight wise is also probably going to be
They're similar.
roughly the same.
Yeah, they're similar.
Japan might actually be a better flight for Seattle because they don't have to go as far south. They can go more like straight. Or
It's
however,
it's an easier flight.
However it works.
They fly up north and they go down.
Yeah, so I think it would be an easier flight, but time wise, it's an hour difference from what I'm seeing.
And there's nothing like flying around Russia when you're going to play a game. It's just that's what you want as a football team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, you don't really have to go around Russia that much.
You're kind of going near North Korea and Russia and all that stuff as you go around. Because they don't go straight across the Pacific. They actually fly northern around land.
But Japan's far enough east where you definitely don't have to go by North Korea.
Okay.
Either way, I think that no matter where you go, I mean, the crux of it all is just travel implications. Like we're not at a place, we are advanced and now we can get to places and we're no longer going bus to bus to bus. But we are not to the point where we have like super tunnels where this is just a nullified thing and it's just a matter of inconvenience. This is truly changing.
Are you in favor of this?
No, absolutely not.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if I have my druthers, like I think it's one thing to go to like Mexico City. I think that's fine. I think again, Canada, I think that's one thing. Even to you know what? If the Packers hosted an Alaskan game, I think that'd be pretty darn swell. That'd be pretty cool. Just like how we have just location games in every other sport, whether it be the cornfield over there in MLB, whether it be like you go over to what field is it in hockey that they start out and then they just ice it out. There's a couple.
They do it in multiple ones.
Yeah, do it in multiple ones. Like
they even did it in LA, dude.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So
Did in Tampa.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it'd be cool to have like location ones that are just more local. Whenever you go to across the pond or whenever you go across an ocean, I think we start to get to things where it's more spectacle than I think is even necessary for the NFL.
But as a fan, if I'm a season ticket holder of a team and I lose a home game because of this, that angers me.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? That is the right now, unfortunately, more so than the NFL being the shield unto its own brand. Right now, it seems to be trying to push the borders and the limits of that very question. That seems to be their current mantra of what are you going to do?
Which is why I say when you have to do this travel and you lose a home game and then you lose that game and you miss the playoffs because of it, that should upset you as a team and as a fan. It just should. I don't like that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
To add a little bit more context here, technically, there's up to 11 possible international games.
Yeah.
So they've increased the cap from 8 to 10. That does not include the Jaguars game at Wembley.
Yeah, because they get
because it's like a separate agreement that the Jaguars have
already
made. Yeah, so
they've already given up in perpetuity a home game in order to host one, and then
they go two. They have two in a row.
Yeah,
they spend 2
currently in this year alone, NFL will play in Australia, Brazil, UK, France, Spain, Germany, Mexico. They are hoping that some of the other places they might go next year include Japan, as we just talked about. Italy is on the list, so maybe you can take a
I would go to that game.
To Italy.
I would.
See, that's the thing, Ralph, is that there are others who feel that way about other regions. Like there are people that have strong ties to Germany, that have strong ties to Ireland, and whenever these happen, it's an event for Americans.
I would love to go to Germany. I don't want my team to go there, which they did, and they played terribly, and it hurt them. So it pisses me off. But go ahead.
No, I think this is one of those things. I don't want it to happen. I would rather them go backwards rather than forwards. But if you're going to go forwards, I think they need to commit. I think this is going to be my plan here.
Oh,
we do
big brain.
We do 16 international games.
And every team gets one?
Every team has to play one international game.
So in other words, what I proposed last week that you
2 weeks ago
vocally vomited over?
Hold on. Let me keep adding in here. Mostly because I wasn't in the right headspace to listen to your plan. I heard you saying it and I just assumed it was dumb.
Well, no, he said international week. Remember? Every team plays an international game all together, like they have international week.
That's what you said?
That was horrendous.
That's dumb. I'm not saying
that was
that.
Dumb.
But everyone plays one international game
in there is that
spread
idea.
Throughout the course of the season. I think that this would also lead to adding in the extra game the NFL wants. I would also use this as the opportunity to add in the second bye, which is actually what George Kittle said. He was just quoted. A lot of players have been quoted on this, but he was most recently said hey, if you're going to add another game, you don't have a choice. You will give us another bye.
I would agree with that.
Which I also agree with. But this is like another way to go towards that. Hey, we're going to add another game. It's going to be an international game. It hits everybody. Everyone will lose a home game because of this. And then on top of that, they will be able to have that second bye.
Do you get the bye before the game or after the game?
That part, I honestly think I would talk with the teams that do it and say, which is better? I would have it as a set rule, but I would try to get feedback from the teams that do the international travel and ask, like, would you rather have it before or after? And
or both.
Possibly. Yeah. I don't know if you want to waste. I don't think you want to do a bye international bye.
I mean, because think of it, you got to deal with the travel on both ends.
Yeah, but I think you'd rather have it later in the season.
Because if you have a Sunday game and then you got to go play internationally next Sunday, I mean, that's tough.
It is, but I think it would also still be tough to have to blow both of your buys with just one game in between, especially if it's an early international game.
Yeah.
If you're playing like week 6 or something.
Good point.
And we see that currently where teams have the option to employ their loan buy and enforce that if they have an international game that they get it either before or after. And not every team does that. I think the Steelers were a team this year that had a random season buy that worked out for them. I do want to clean up the chat line as we move along in the show. We have Bitter Dolphin fan saying, do you think any GM should take a chance on Brendan Sorsby after the new allegations, especially with the upcoming supplemental draft? Is he worth the possible risk? Now, this is for those who don't know, the uninitiated Texas Tech. No, is he? No, he's coming into Texas Tech, right?
I believe he was already at Texas Tech.
Yes, he transferred from Cincinnati to Texas Tech.
Yeah, he was already in Texas Tech.
And allegations have come out that he has, not even allegations, but charges have been brought forth that he's been betting on games across the spectrum, including college football.
Including his own games when he was at Indiana.
Yes.
Supposedly not to lose.
Yeah.
Supposedly, allegedly.
And whenever you see 40 bets, you think it could possibly not be for a lot of money, more so just for volume and whatever. But I don't know about, I'll go to you, Luke, here after, but I'd say for me, first of all, I don't think he'll be a part of the supplemental draft. I think that'd be kind of putting the cart before the horse, where I don't know that if he could have declared to the regular draft, he probably would have been a weak quarterback draft. So therefore he was going to Texas Tech to probably up his stock and look more impressive than he did in Hoosiers. It's kind of the steps of the ladder that we're currently in the new NIL system. However, if we're talking about his draft prospects now going forward, I do worry about it. As we've seen in a topic that may or may not come up later, quarterback decision-making is not just on the field. It's also off the field and what you do in that time that really will have a say on. That is just with an over amount of responsibility that comes with both the price tag as well as the position. So too does come the responsibility to heed that with a certain responsibility that is becoming of that position. So I very much think that it is concerning that you would think of a cardinal sin that is not only is not new. We've seen this rather recently, very in high public profile settings, and the fact that you, especially from the quarterback position, could not lay off that temptation, that sin, that whatever you want to call it, that temptress that is betting, is concerning to me if I'm a potential GM looking for a potential franchise quarterback. Luke?
I think there's one GM that should take a chance on him.
Oh, God.
Monty Austinfort for the Cardinals. Just so that we can get him fired faster.
Jeez.
That's it. No, I just, he was a fine QB prospect playing at a smaller school in Cincinnati. Yeah. Maybe if he'd had a year at Texas Tech and we could have seen what he could do with better competition. Well, I guess technically they're in the same conference now, but
he very well could be following the same path as Penix, like same going from it.
Like you're just getting
bigger program
bigger
and then you become
bigger.
A first round draft.
I don't think that was really like that much in the cards. I think that at this point it's not worth the risk. Congrats, you went through rehab. I don't know how much rehab really gets done in 30 days if you have true addiction problems. I think that's more the start of the process rather than being able to say, okay, I went through this 30-day program, I'm fine now. And I don't know if there's enough upside to warrant taking a risk like that. I guess like I wouldn't hate it if a GM said, hey, he's an unrestricted free agent, because I would be shocked if he gets to play in college again.
I have less concerns on him than like a Diego Pavia. Like, he has the tangibles. It's just now I'm worried about decision making. So in that context of an unrestricted free agent, sure, I'll take a dart throw on him.
I'll invite him to a training camp. It'd probably have to be next year because unfortunately, because he's trying so hard to get back into college, I don't think he's already missing OTAs. He's already missing the start of training camps. I know it's mostly voluntary stuff here, but I don't know if I'd really take that much of a risk on him. Just like a training camp invite, if possible, probably next year.
Our second sexiest commenter, Tanner, says the Vikings hire Seahawks assistant GM Nolan Teasley as GM.
Yep.
Now, you just keep getting nipped at here.
I had a lot to say about this.
Yeah, please go ahead.
No, so he's a Vikings fan?
Yes.
All right. Well, we all have our issues. I had to take that shot.
He knows. He's aware.
Nolan Teasley is an interesting story. So back in 2013, he wrote 32 letters, one to each team in the NFL saying, give me an opportunity, right? John Schneider was the only guy that gave him an interview. And after the interview, hired him and put him in the scouting department.
Nice.
So he's been there since then. And then in 2023, he promoted him to assistant GM. So this guy has been under the organization of John Schneider now for 13 years. And he's been working with him side by side for the last 3 seasons as an assistant GM. Where's there a better place to be to learn how to be a GM? This is a great move for the Vikings. This guy was pretty hot. A lot of teams were looking at him as far as possibly turning him into a GM. Really good move for the Vikings. I think he'll be very successful for you, Tanner. This is a great hire. I think Seattle got like 2 third-round compensatory picks for him, which that's whatever. That's great. But I really, really, really like this move for the Vikings. I can see him absolutely making a difference compared to that clown that you had there last year.
Well, yeah. There seems to be a better correlation in proximity to greatness when we're talking about general managers than it is from coaches.
Yeah.
And what I mean,
I know exactly what you mean.
Like you look at like the coaching tree for like Bill Belichick, awful. But and Andy Reid, mixed success. Like Doug Peterson has a Super Bowl, but you know,
was it really Doug Peterson that won the Super Bowl?
You wonder whether or not there was a roster construction versus like Harry Roseman versus Doug Peterson. However, whenever we're talking about general managers, that actually does seem to have a correlation, a positive correlation of success whenever we're talking about the really good GMs, the ones that look really good, because that is probably more tangible, learnable traits that you can have outside of perhaps personal interaction, as opposed to like, would you want the second in command to just have, we just talked about Monty? No.
Well, look at John Schneider. He was somebody's right-hand man in Green Bay. Do you remember who? Ted Thompson. Right? So he's off that tree. So now you've got Teasley, who is the right-hand guy of Schneider. This is good. I mean, you're right. You'll see that with the GM candidates. When they sit under some of these great GMs for a few years, they go out on their own and they do a really good job. Yeah. So you got something to be excited about there, Mr. Sexy.
Speaking of Mr. Sexy and what he should be excited about, we have again, I'm going to put this in quotes every time we have it, a quarterback competition brewing down there in Minnesota. I think I always get the temperature of the room here, but we all, just before we get to the actual conversation that we're going, we all believe that that's Kyler Murray's job to lose, and I even put that loosely, right? We all believe that Kyler Murray is the starting quarterback.
It's his job.
Yeah,
unless he gets hurt.
Yeah,
like that to me. That's literally that's JJ's window.
And even then,
if he trips him,
even then you probably bring somebody else.
Yeah.
Like
so, but as of right now, it's being put under the tent of a quarterback competition, probably more so than anything else, to preserve whatever notion that JJ McCarthy has as your franchise quarterback, that he can still have that in him, and perhaps you can be surprised in an offseason, what have you. However, and this is in direct opposition to the plea that Ralph had last week for a topic of why do you ask these guys stupid questions? They're only going to give you stupid answers, corporate answers, PR, suited up answers. Because when asked this week during the OTAs process, both Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy were asked the very same question as to how is it working with the other quarterback in the room. So Kyler Murray was asked, how is it to work with JJ? And JJ was asked, how does it work with Kyler Murray? And Kyler Murray,
I hadn't seen this. Okay.
Yes, Kyler Murray is asked that question and answers, dare I say, in a very professional circumstance, like in a very professional manner, saying, okay, he's overly acceptive on the behalf of JJ. He's always communicating, asking questions, stuff like that. So it's been good. He goes on to say, like, I guess, in terms of the NFL, I'm seen as the older veteran. It's been great. He's a younger guy. So any way I can help him. I played 7 years now, going on 8. Even though I don't see myself as a veteran, give him any knowledge that he needs. Again, we're both competitors. I know we both want what's best for the team. That's a straw in your cap over there, Ralph. That's the company line, and he's towing it, which,
Except I don't like the comment, I don't see myself as a veteran.
Okay, sure.
That is kind of a weird thing to say. Like, dude, you've been in the league for going on 8 years. You're a veteran. In other words,
you're so bad, you still look. You think you're a rookie or what?
I don't know what his thought process was with that, but
it's an odd side.
That's an odd comment, but yeah.
But JJ's answer, in stark contrast, how's it to work with Kyler? What's your relationship? And he says it's just like two guys in a classroom. He sits on one side, I sit on the other side, and it's the coach's responsibility to teach us and coach us. And when asked upon, is there any awkwardness between the two of you? Awkwardness? It's just like the same feeling when you're in high school and there's another person on the other side of the room. It's just kind of how it is. So I wouldn't say there's any awkwardness.
So that's a total lack of respect.
Total lack of respect.
Murray. I mean, wow.
My goodness, like for a guy that somehow feels very confident in taking his shoes off and walking across the field every day, just full dogs out. To be connected with the field and putting on some more pain over there. This guy has some gumption. Like I would like this approach if I had any sense of confidence in his ability to get this starting job. And you know who else doesn't have any confidence? Not only the management of this team, but the gosh darn head coach, because they didn't have a general manager when they brought in Kyler Murray, meaning that was a head coach decision.
Yeah.
There is nobody in your court, guy. Take a hint. You know what position you're in? Not quarterback. You're in tutelage. You are being tutored by Kyler Murray. You're not even being tutored by Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers was in this position, maybe you can take this thing because everybody would be like, yeah, that guy's probably not a good example. But even then, Kyler Murray, oh my gosh, this is outrageous. Luke, is there any defending of JJ McCarthy? Because you also said that there was possibly other news about this.
Yeah. So supposedly this is like somebody reporting what they're hearing from other GMs. Yes, this is truly the whispers of the whispers. Supposedly, JJ is like starting to like not want to be here at all or be there at all.
Not surprising.
And apparently we're getting to the point where it is predicted by other GMs around the league. This is from Jason La Canfora of Sports Bloom, which you could take that for whatever you consider that to be worth. Current GM told him, I think he wants out of there. I think he's wanted out since they signed Murray. Those personalities are not going to be a good fit. And apparently there's an agent that says that their dynamics just not going to work out. This is honestly getting to be embarrassing
on the part of
at this point, everyone,
really?
Except for Kyler,
which is
Kyler's still handling this exactly how he should be handling this. He's being professional. Is he giving the easy answers, the easy professional answers that you're supposed to say? Yes. And that's what his job is right now. Yes. That's what he should be doing. The fact that the Vikings are having this black eye on them and we haven't even gotten to preseason yet is not a great look to me. And the fact that JJ is out here seemingly the only one not understanding that this is not your job, buddy. Like, you're here because we made the mistake in drafting you and you have zero value, so we can't even trade you. Like that's all you're here for. We're gonna sit here and we'll do you the kindness of saying that this is a competition, even though again, everybody knows that it's not.
But can you blame him? And I'm not a JJ McCarthy fan, but can you blame him for not having respect for Kyler Murray? What is there to respect about Kyler Murray except for time served?
I can blame him because he doesn't deserve any respect either.
Oh, understood.
Yeah.
Understood. I agree with you there, but I'm just saying, I would, if I'm JJ McCarthy, who seems like he's a very cocky young guy who thinks he's better than he is.
That's 9, not JJ. JJ's respectful. It's when he puts the face paint on and goes in the 9.
Okay. Well, when he goes into the 9 or the 10 or whatever the hell he is, he's very cocky and thinks he's a great quarterback. He's made that pretty obvious. Kind of reminds me of a couple other guys. But based on that, he looks over and he looks under the desk to see Kyler Murray and goes, what has this guy done in this league? He's been a failure for 7-8 years. Why would I have any respect for this guy? I don't. There's no way he should be starting ahead of me, and I'm going to show him. That's what I would think his attitude probably is.
And to be honest,
which is fine.
If that's his attitude, I'm fine with that. We're talking about the professional football league here. Like you should be having the mentality, especially in this context of saying, I'm good enough, I should be competing. But you need to go and prove that. It's when you come out here and especially, honestly, I'd even respect it more if he came out and said that.
Yeah, I would too.
But that's the thing. He didn't come out and say, this is a competition. I respect Kyler Murray, but at the end of the day, he hasn't won anything either. Like I don't necessarily agree with you saying that, JJ, but like I could respect him trying to make that argument. At this point, he's just making this awkward high school analogy that like,
which is appropriate in that why are you approaching this like high school? Like you shouldn't be approaching it like that.
You can see his friends and his dad looking at him going, dude, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
You beat this guy out. Look at he's terrible.
Which as a family and friends, they should be telling him. Yeah. They should be trying to prop him up.
I think that this is kind of on the same level that we have with Kenny Atkinson earlier in the show, where this can be a great internal thought. But you have to have the awareness. You have to have the due diligence as you're knowing your role and your potential role, I suppose, in this case, of being the franchise quarterback that you were drafted to be. You gotta be the high road. You gotta be that guy outward. Look, and also, what has he done? I'm sure. I'm almost 100% positive that specifically whenever they're in red shirts and they can't be touched, Kyler Murray is outperforming JJ in every way, manner, and shape. He is a great thrower of the football. And he also can move around way better than JJ.
Remember, JJ can look good at practice, though.
I don't believe that.
He's that. Oh, we've seen it. He's that guy that can look pretty good at practice. He just doesn't look good in games.
Kyler is the one I put on that. JJ, no.
The Vikings need JJ to think it's a competition. They need everyone else to think it's a competition. The Vikings need JJ to perform well in the preseason so that he has value so that they can trade him. That's what they need. They already know they're going Kyler Murray.
This is not a step forward in that direction.
No, I understand.
A step forward in that direction would be like the answer. We have the same exact scenario happening over in Atlanta, where Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix are having the exact same dynamic, really. Like everybody, for some reason, actually, in a what I consider to be the lone true quarterback competition that anybody should care about, is saying that Tua is going to win that job outright. I don't understand how. I don't really know why, because I think Penix didn't do anything necessarily to lose that job. But whenever they go over to that side of the camp and they say, Tua, how is it going? What are you concerned about? He says the team winning the Super Bowl, says Tua. I think that'd be amazing, whether I'm the guy or I'm not the guy. I think that'd be unbelievable. And any way I can help make that happen, I'm excited to be here for that.
That's the right answer.
That's the right answer.
That's a professional answer.
It's boring answer.
Yeah.
You know why we haven't heard that quote on this show? Because it's the boring answer. Nobody cares about that. And it's what's expected of you. Do I think at all? Do you think at all? Do you think at all that Tua believes that at all?
No, but Tua's a professional.
But Tua's a professional.
JJ's not.
Professional quarterback. And outside of every so often just having the weird random comment that you attribute to mental health more than anything else, you're like, oh, he knows how to do that job. He knows how to, because he's just been,
he's a pro
on the floor. He's a grown-up and he plays that role. So it's absurd to me that JJ thinks he has any leg to stand on, certainly an injured one, but I digress. Speaking of really something that I don't want to bring a segue to. We do.
That's fair.
We do have, I think that it's amongst the things where right now, this is the part of the NFL season this portion of the offseason, even that no news is great news. Okay, you haven't heard anything out of the Tennessee Titans camp. We haven't heard anything out of. I'm trying to even think.
The Titans got rid of all their grapeseed oils.
See, see.
So don't
no
forget
news.
that.
No news. But whenever we hit a topic of heard news about you, it's either Giants having now 3 players tearing their Achilles and goodness gracious, that Meadowlands grass is just undefeated. Or we go to the other side of the ball where we go to something a little more sobering. Luke, you had something to bring up about Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, it's something that I wanted to put on our radar because we will almost certainly have to come back to this because the NFL will be forced to address this in some way. Whether or not they say, hey, we don't have enough evidence to do anything, or whether or not they come out with a punishment. But Josh Jacobs was arrested recently for alleged domestic violence for an alleged domestic violence incident. Currently, he has not been charged with anything. I know just recently they have leaked the dispatch call, which involves yelling, screaming, things being thrown.
Wow.
Yes. A neighbor also calling in to say that somebody's being assaulted.
Jeez.
Josh Jacobs was not allegedly there when authorities arrived. He'd left the scene. So we still do not have all of the information to make any judgments. That's not our job by any means here. But
what?
I know.
I thought we were very judgmental. But okay.
We are when we get more facts.
I don't like facts.
Get to actual serious life matters.
When we actually see whether or not he gets charged, or when we see whether or not the NFL does anything about this, they'll have to address it in some way.
And for his part, Josh Jacobs' attorneys have come up with a statement saying Josh vehemently denies the allegations, and this matter is in the early stages of investigation with important evidence that has not yet been made public.
Yes. The alleged charges can include domestic abuse battery, damage to property, domestic abuse, disorderly conduct, strangulation, suffocation, intimidation of a victim.
Wow.
It's not a good look right now. Again, to my understanding, there have not been any actual charges filed yet. That doesn't mean that they won't come. I believe Ray Rice was one of the perfect examples of this. I think it took like 6+ months before the charges were actually filed against him.
Right. That was one where we all had we had all read the report, and it didn't really go through a lot of people's radar, and then we saw the video.
And then something else to bring up here, it does not matter if he gets charged. The NFL can still punish him. They have done it on numerous occasions. If they decide that they are not a court of law, they do not have to have evidence beyond reasonable doubt. If they do their own investigation and they decide that there is enough, they will still do a suspension, which based off of previous incidences you would imagine would be roughly in the vicinity of about 6 games minimum. Possibly more or less, depending upon what other news comes out. But I don't necessarily think that there's a ton to have to touch on this, but it was something that did happen. I don't want it to kind of be fully swept under the rug, because at some point, the NFL is going to have to come out and make a statement about this. They're going to do their own investigation. They're going to have to announce whether or not they have found enough on their end to have a suspension or not. And Josh Jacobs being suspended for the Packers, I think, is a pretty big hit if that is what happens to come.
Absolutely. And we're already looking at, you just look across the league, and there are certain players that play a more important and pivotal role on when and how these suspensions occur, when they are invoked and what have you. So we'll keep a finger on the pulse of that story. CJ Stroud.
Yeah, do you want to address the text?
Oh, sorry.
We've been challenged.
I have not seen this. Yes. So we look at Bitter Dolphin fan joining the conversation saying, really? Tua is a professional. What about all the stupid things he said last season, including throwing teammates under the bus? This is Tua trying to change his image. This very show called him unprofessional.
Now, he's right. We did at some point do that.
So I would say for the most part, especially in Tua's professional tenure as a Dolphins head quarterback, he was professional. It's only when things got ugly and fingers were being pointed that he joined in that, which is unprofessional. You should be above that.
And I would say to his defense, and I agree, we did call him unprofessional. He's got something going on with the concussions, and he said a lot of stupid things, and he probably shouldn't be playing football anymore. But I mean, I think that contributed to some of the things that he did and said last season that made him seem unprofessional. And regardless, when you compare him to JJ McCarthy, he looks professional compared to JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that putting it at a high bar? It's not, but compared to JJ McCarthy, I would say he's professional.
And again, we're looking at Kyler Murray and Tua being in the same boat, really, where they are, even though they are being paid their full franchise quarterback contracts that they've signed earlier in their career, they are still fighting for their job and their career, certainly as a franchise quarterback moving forward. So they are only guaranteed at least this coming year, as a chance to prove themselves as such. And because of that, it is incumbent upon them to put forth their best foot.
Yeah.
So that's why I think at least at this point, we can at least say Tua has that club in his bag. Whether or not he's always that, it could be a Russell Wilson situation where I don't even think anybody believes that he's that PR, but he just that just seems to be a mask he puts on.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, for all we know, the problems and things that he said in Miami, he has now realized, hey, I can't afford to say these things anymore. And it is what is leading him to saying these more professional answers on a regular basis.
And you said a really interesting word, 2 words there, Russell Wilson. I just want to throw this out at Tanner. Don't be surprised if he's not he could be in a Viking uniform next year.
I would next year?
This season coming up.
Oh, this season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be surprised. Remember the relationship he has with this guy. And
do not be surprised.
McCarthy's not totally healthy, right? Murray is historically somebody that gets hurt. Just telling you.
I'm just telling you.
I think they would rather trade for Jacoby Brissett than sign Russell Wilson.
Be as fun.
Putting Jacoby and Kyler back on the same team for Jacoby to take his job again, I think would be pretty fun.
I think I'd prefer that guy who threw like 5 picks, including the worst pick 6 I've ever seen in my gosh darn life. I don't even know if it was a pick. No, I think it was a pick 6.
Yes, it was.
Whatever that was, who was in his first career start ever. I'd rather have him over Russell
coming
Wilson.
For you, Tyler.
Oh my goodness. All right. Speaking of quarterbacks, I'd rather have someone else over. CJ Stroud is in extension talks.
Speaking of professional,
with the Texans. Now, rumor has it, speaking of whispers, little whispers in the wind over there say that Luke Wright is in favor of CJ Stroud getting this extension. And I am befuddled. I am bewildered. I am confused.
Did I say that on the show?
Yeah, I'm confused too.
Luke, explain yourself. Do you believe in this?
I don't know if I'd say he has earned an extension yet. Okay. Did I say that previously? Am I about to go back on?
I wanted you to.
I don't think you did.
Oh, you just wanted to put me in a position.
You to be wrong. Is that so wrong?
You should talk about the interview and his answer. That's what you should talk about.
I just think that we can talk about here. CJ Stroud recently was, doing his thing. He was at training camp. He has a huge contract decision looming. And so they asked him about it. What, blah, 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 contract. He said, and I quote, "I let my agent handle that. If it's time to do it, then it is. My job is football. That's what I'm focused on, just getting better." Everything that he said at this point, great answer.
Love it.
Here's the problem.
10 out of 10.
That was the professional answer that everyone was expecting. And then he says, "I think I've held my bargain up. Whatever happens, happens," end quote.
And blown.
And then he went from perfect professional answer and then just nosedived from there. And to be honest, he really doesn't deserve it right now. He doesn't. He just does not deserve a huge contract at the moment. And I was on his side.
Adam Schefter is on report saying that he believes, which, you know, it's kind of like the same thing in the NBA. If Windhorst says something, you take those believes strongly. Adam Schefter says it is his belief that CJ Stroud will get an extension this offseason.
I would love to see how much it is worth.
I would love to see how much is guaranteed.
Yeah,
That's
so
what matters to me.
Against the Patriots, 212 yards, 1 touchdown
In the playoffs.
This was how they went out. This was the divisional round playoffs. This was to get you to the conference championship. You went 20 of 47 for 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 picks. 4.
It's one game.
4 picks.
It's one game.
But at least he gave you
an
100
important
yards
game,
on the
right?
ground.
It's a very important
It
game.
was one game. You look at his stats; they're not bad for the year.
They
He's
weren't
consistent.
good.
He's consistent.
He threw 3,000 yards.
He was hurt for a few of those.
He had less than 20 touchdowns. He had 8 picks.
And they didn't have.
If you look at his career numbers, he's a good quarterback. He's not elite or anything like that, but he's a good, serviceable quarterback.
The problem is if you look at his career numbers, they're getting worse every year.
I thought they were pretty consistent.
No.
He went from rookie year, he was at 4,100 yards.
He had outrageous rookie year.
Yeah, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Immediately, the very next year, played 2 more games, 400 less yards, 3 less touchdowns, and almost tripled his interceptions.
Right.
Not good.
And then this year, again, he did miss
On
3
par.
games, but he dropped down to 3,000 yards.
And
he had less touchdowns. He had 8 picks.
Is the reason where you can point the finger of blame for why the Texans lost in the playoffs. You never want to be with the finger of blame.
Directly. Like the defense was doing the best it could, but there's only so much you can do with how bad some of those
He was bad.
plays
That
truly
game was
were.
terrible. I agree with you.
And but to me, that's enough. We talked about it with JSN earlier before he got his contract. There's no reason to give him this extension
Agreed.
now.
I agree.
He has not done enough to warrant getting what you typically see out of these extensions. Now, I could be wrong. If they come back and they're like, hey, we'll give you 25 to 30 million a year, then sure, fine, whatever. That's fine. Like that's probably roughly what he has earned. But if I'm CJ Stroud and I want more, then I'm going to have to say no and just play out this year and hope that I can do better and not get hurt.
I think what you tell him if you're the GM is you say, look, we love you. We like you. We know there's potential there, but we got to see more. I can give you a team-friendly contract extension today if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But you go out and kick butt this year and we'll pay you.
Yeah.
But I just got to see it. I haven't seen it since your rookie year, man.
And your Seahawks are the best example to do this for. Is like, hey, this team is not built around you winning it for us. It's built around our defense winning it for us. It's built around being able to run the ball well. And then it's built on one star wide receiver with a couple good complementary pieces to throw to.
Yeah.
We don't need you to be Tom Brady. We don't
need you to be Sam Darnold.
Yeah, we need you to be Sam Darnold. Can you be our Sam Darnold?
Gosh,
we will pay you. We will pay you what we paid Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold got paid.
Great. You've gone from that guy that no one talks about to now we want Sam Darnold.
Why would you fall into that trap?
If he's right, that's what people say.
But it is true. Like that is what you're hoping for if you're the Texans.
I will say where you two are wrong is that no, it's true.
Right.
Where you are wrong is one. Keep in mind that he is still operating underneath the same GM who drafted him, which is big whenever you're talking about franchise quarterbacks, right?
Agreed.
Like that's one thing that is going to work against JJ McCarthy versus other quarterbacks.
Agreed.
And so that's a big thing. And why that matters is because if you're him and you drafted him and obviously you believed in him then, in theory, you would believe in him now. What I would do if I was that GM is right now is actually the time I would want to sign an extension. Now, in an ideal world, it's mostly because, hey, look, you have all these points that we just talked about why we wouldn't sign him. You have legitimate reasons to not sign him for as much. So I think that's why I'd go now and I'd sign him and why I could see him getting a contract.
Yeah, but you know
so
he
what
wants
we
more.
just said, you sign him as long as it's not a ludicrous contract.
Right, but I'm saying it sounds like Ralph is much more comfortable paying him top dollar for one tremendous year that essentially
No, what I said was give him the option. I'll sign you now, but it's going to be a team-friendly contract, or you go out and show me something this year. Show me that rookie year wasn't a fake thing, and I'll pay you.
I think I would make it a priority, because whenever you go right now, as long as I'm not breaking barriers, like as long as I'm not like, I don't even know what I need to give you. Maybe it's like top average, but really it's all fuddy-duddy money. And
Probably 50 million.
Yeah. You just put it all back.
Which I wouldn't give him.
Because I want something to where eventually you get like the original Steph Curry extension talk, contract extension, which allowed them to get Kevin Durant, to where eventually that's going to look like, right now you're kind of paying out the nose, maybe even a Scottie Pippen contract of yesteryear, where you're looking at right now, it's going to be measurable with everybody else, but eventually that contract ages gracefully. Let's catch up with the chat line over here and with our sexy second. Oh my goodness. Whew, I almost stepped into it. Speaking of stepping into a Sam Darnold trap, I almost stepped into that. Second sexiest commentator here on the chat line. Look, while the GM hire for the Vikings is attractive, we've already wasted too many years of bad quarterback play for JJ Eddas. Not sure why he spelled it like that, but I have trust in Tanner. I know you may not over there, Luke.
All I would say, Tanner, is if JJ's hurt and then Kyler historically gets hurt, you're going to need someone. Who's your third?
Carson Wentz, I think, is actually still there.
So
I think he just signed an extension.
And you got a GM that coming in now that has a relationship with Russell Wilson, so you never know.
And Tanner,
not a good one.
Yeah. And Tanner also adds a new segment idea for the show: best and worst reporter question, coupled by best and worst athlete and coach answer.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
Kind of like
requires homework on our part,
which I don't like.
The very bad idea. But
so you do that for us and give it to us.
Yeah. Ooh, a Tanner segment. Ooh,
good job, Tanner. You gave yourself homework.
Yeah, you could have a segment on the show.
Second sexiest segment of the show. There's a lot of alliteration right now.
Wow, what's the sexiest?
All right. Lastly, one that we have time to talk about this.
Oh, we're talking about this.
Yeah.
No, you're not skirting this.
Yeah,
I know you're going to try.
We're not darting away from this topic.
I've got audio for this.
Excuse me. I didn't realize that we had this. All right. We are expanding the show's budget for this topic coming at you.
You want me to take this?
Go ahead,
because
please.
I know that you're really, you're a little sensitive. So when we get to good topics,
absolutely.
So let's talk about the whole Jaxson Dart Abdul Carter controversy, because it's been all over social media. It's been all over everywhere this week, right? So for those of you that have been living under a rock, we all know that Jaxson Dart, he made a personal appearance. It was political, which we don't talk politics in this forum, but we're going to touch tiny bit, but not really.
We're going to slightly touch
it. We're going to slightly touch it, but he made an appearance where he introduced the president of the United States at an event. Right,
the 45th and 47th president.
Let me pull back and even say, in life in general, if there's three of us on this show in this studio, and I can guarantee you that, and when we get on this studio and we get on this video, we all have a fun, good time. But I bet if we pulled back and looked at our personal lives, we have three very different ways of doing things, thinking about things, whether it's politics or anything else in life. Right? That's just how people are. That's normal, right? But we don't come on the air and beat each other up about it or apologize about it. That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't represent Phil in my life, right? Wow. Phil doesn't represent Luke in his life. Anyway, so Jaxson Dart went ahead on his own personal time and he went to this event and he introduced the president of the United States. No big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. Now, do you guys do? I mean, you can say something if you think it's a big deal.
I do.
Okay, I think it could be.
Okay, so let's go down the path of why Abdul Carter felt it was his responsibility to comment about this, because what he said is he came out on Twitter when he saw this. It was Twitter or wherever on social media, and he says,
"Get it right here, Ralph."
I'm sorry, Mister. I get it all right every week. He came out and put a tweet. Is it still a tweet?
That's a great question.
No one knows what to call it.
I think they technically call it a post now, but it's very stupid.
Okay. Well, we'll stick with stupid. I like that.
He made it stupid.
He made a post. He made a stupid. This was a stupid. If he chooses to align himself with a man like President Trump, it's my responsibility based on what I believe and what I stand for or what I stand on to not only show my teammates that I'm against that, but to show the world. I have my opinion on this post, which he then took down, obviously, because this was one of the most asinine posts I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, he put that out there. And then what I'd like to do, this created a lot of controversy and everyone's going to have their opinions on it. But then I'd like to play a couple of audio clips and then we'll get into it. So this is from Jaxson Dart. He was
Is
asked
this when
about it.
Yeah, when he first addressed the media post the rally.
This is post, right? So
Nice.
this is his response.
Obviously this was a unique opportunity. Being asked and given the opportunity to introduce the President of the United States. My thinking was pretty simple. In the fact of, I've always loved this country. I have extended family members who have fought in wars. I have 2 uncles who have retired from the Air Force Academy and served themselves. And I even have a great grandfather who served as Secretary of Treasury at some point. So the president position has always been a position that I've well respected, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of political party. And my intentions were just that.
So first off, he didn't need to even come out and do this, but he did. He just wanted to lay out what his reasoning was. It's fine. He did that. And then Abdul Carter, I got another one. Abdul Carter came out after that, and here's him.
So first off, I want to say that some things are bigger than football, and this is one of those things. Jaxson is one of our leaders. He's the face of our franchise. He not only represents himself and what he does, but he represents all of us. And that goes for anybody who wears a Giants uniform. But if he chooses to align himself with a man like President Trump, it's my responsibility, based on what I believe and what I stand on, to not only show my teammates that I'm against that, but to show the world. And that doesn't mean that we have to spread hate. It doesn't mean that me and Jaxson hate each other or we have beef. I sit next to Jaxson every day, every team meeting. We close, we talk. We just, as long as we make sure we got the same goal as a team and our goals align, which they do, and I feel like that's all that matters. So I just want to move past this, and yeah, that's it.
So I have strong feelings about what happened here. I'm sure you guys too, as well. I'm going to play, not yet, but in a little bit, I'll play Boom. I mean, did you guys hear Boomer Esiason's take on this?
Oh my God, yeah.
I did not.
You need to hear Boomer's. I was surprised he was so passionate, but we'll play that in a minute. But anyway, just in what he just said right now, you have 90 players in that locker room, pretty much, with practice squad and all that stuff. Not everyone will ever be aligned in every form of their part of their life, right? Whether they're a leader on the team, it's non-football things, everyone, as long as we're talking legal things, everyone has a right to believe how they believe, to support what they support, and do what they want to do. We all would agree with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But for Abdul Carter, in my opinion, to sit there and say, because he's on this team and he went out and did this, I don't think it's right. I don't align with how he thinks. It's not the way I think. Therefore, I am responsible to have to put this out in public, and I am responsible to call this out. Number one, that's extremely selfish. Number two, you have no right to say those things. This has nothing to do with football. You've now created a controversy around your team for something non-football related. That's not a controversy just because his politics doesn't align with yours. His way of thinking doesn't align with yours. He has the right to think that, just like you have the right to think what you think. And I think that's part of the problem in this country today, is we feel that if you don't agree with me, then you're wrong and you need to be put out there and I need to punish you. And that's just not how we should be thinking. And if I was the owner or the GM, and I'm sure that they had something to say about this to the players in general, and I'm sure they probably called this guy in, I would be highly concerned with Abdul Carter as a player on my team right now, going, hey, dude, I don't need a cancer on this team. You're not the political police here. You don't police what other people do or say or believe. It's none of your business. Just like what you believe is none of anyone else's business. This was wrong. What you did was wrong. You had no right doing it and creating that controversy. You have every right to say what you want to say, but why would you have to create a controversy around our team and now put this spotlight on us? It just doesn't help our situation. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. We're trying to play football. This is non-football related. Please don't do this. It's probably the conversation I would have had. I'll let you guys give your opinions. I'm sure they're very different. And then I want to play what Boomer said.
All right. I just want to be clear. You think that it's Abdul who created the controversy?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
See, I think Abdul was reacting to the controversy that Jaxson Dart created, because I did not. I mean, Abdul was just living his life. Like, he was. Do I think that he is faultless? Not even in this scenario, but certainly in the problems that he has been drafted as a number 3 overall pick and certainly not lived up to those
Right, he's had
expectations. He's had off the field issues in terms of the team, as far as like falling asleep during meetings was rumored around. Obviously,
There's been issues.
There's been issues, certainly, but there would be no talk about Abdul Carter in this situation if Jaxson Dart had not decided to use his position, had not decided to use his platform, and had not decided to bandwagon alongside with that the New York Giants as a brand to be the poster boy for this particular president, who is a unique president, to say the least, in the history that he does not let the office dictate who he is represented as, but more so he forces the office to represent who he is as a person.
Mhm.
And because of that, I think it goes beyond the idea of just what I've seen going out there as far as that nobody has had concerns about prior presidencies such as this one. But I'd say that because of how unique a personality this is, he stands for something.
I would say that's your opinion. I would say that's your opinion, though.
Sure,
Okay.
certainly. But also, I think that it's an opinion held by others, certainly one that is also held by other former quarterbacks, one in the form of Tom Brady, where anytime he had a chance to align himself politically with Donald Trump, he stepped aside.
Mhm.
He allowed that. He's somebody who I think you would certainly, anybody would say is the greatest example of somebody to model yourself in a professional sense, certainly as a quarterback, let alone in sports. And the way he handled this particular issue, and in which case we have a like-minded way of how we have it, to where there were even, I believe he had a hat that was a MAGA hat in his locker room, and just tried to sidestep that and remain neutral, because that is what his position and what he is aligned with, and realizing where he is at. I think even Robert Kraft is publicly known to be a sponsor, a fundraiser for that particular party, let alone that particular person.
Yeah, he is.
And so because of that, he would have found himself in like-minded territory. And even he had better thoughts and awareness of his platform and where he is to step aside and avoid that controversy, because he knew that the position he held, certainly again as a franchise quarterback, is something that other people will try to take advantage of and will try to utilize in whatever manner that is. Thus why he often was very selective on what brands you have yet to see Tom Brady be a brand manager for Depends or something along that line. He's very selective.
It could be.
And that's what he chooses to. Jaxson Dart, he's many things, but one thing that seems to be a reoccurring thing is he is not, this is concerning along the lines of where he does not seem to have the wherewithal of what it is that is being asked of him off the field, especially with being had on this decision specifically.
So what you're saying is, I'll get to Luke next, but what you're saying is the problem was not Abdul Carter's response, it was Jaxson Dart doing this in the first place.
Yeah, specifically with his first response, even where it was, what are we doing? I don't think that that's really that inflammatory a thing. It's
because he introduced the president of the United States in an event. That's a problem.
That person, I would say.
It doesn't matter who that person is. He introduced that position.
It does matter.
It does.
I don't think it does, because I can sit here and turn on you on other presidents that were just as bad, if not worse. Going back to the last president, who was a disaster.
You can't name a single.
I can name one right off the bat. Joe Biden. I mean, absolutely.
No, I'm not saying you can't name presidents. I'm saying you can't name a single active player at the time that they were there that a person has inserted.
And bitter Dolphin fan just goes, he goes somewhere I'm going next too, is why aren't we talking about Lawrence Taylor or Saquon Barkley or anybody else that's done this exact? I mean, Abdul Carter was a huge fan. His mentor, Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor's not an active player. You see a lot.
It doesn't matter. This is somebody that this guy, he wanted to wear his number. He actively supports him, but he has nothing bad to say about him.
No, it definitely matters.
Think about who Lawrence Taylor was on a personal level.
But it matters.
Terrible person.
It matters. Oh, well, I guess he has his issues.
He was.
But Lawrence Taylor, why it matters is because we are talking within the construct of a team.
Okay, Saquon Barkley.
Boomer Esiason certainly has made his. How about
Saquon? Saquon actively supports Trump, and he does it at events. How come no one's talking about it?
He's not a quarterback.
So he's also he's the key member of that squad. He was the high profile player coming into that team. No one talked about it. Why?
because first of all, he never introduced him at a rally. He was
No, but
involving him.
he's on
Same idea as like why nobody's getting on Messi for his involvement with.
he joined the, what do you call it?
Yeah, the committee or
The
whatever.
committee that he put together. I think he's actually the head of that committee.
There is
That's even more involved.
That is-
That's not introducing him. That's actually being politically involved.
And yet it's because it didn't seem to come across as an endorsement. People have politically aligned themselves
Okay.
where they were able to differentiate themselves for a cause, which is something that you can interpret how you wish, as opposed to openly endorsing.
Okay.
What full-throatedly endorsing both
I wanna hear
on
what you have to
yourself and
say.
on the part of the brand that you represent.
Cool.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, the president and the person are two separate things.
Okay.
So whether you support the president or not and support the person or not are two separate things. So when you go out there and you support the person or the president, and you know that you're going to create a headline with this. You are the quarterback of the New York Giants. You will create headlines for this.
Fair.
So you are inviting this. You know, just given who this is, who you are introducing, you know that this will cause headlines. You know this will cause controversy. You know that this will cause something. So if you're going to sit here and talk about how Abdul Carter's the one, I'm kind of leaning towards Phil on this regard. Abdul Carter didn't start this controversy. He escalated it for sure, with both the original thought this blank was AI, what we doing, man, as well as the follow-up after that. Like, so he I'm not going to say that he didn't escalate it, but from the get-go, even before that first tweet, there was backlash to it because that's just what is happening right now. Sure. So I do think that do you think he could have handled it differently?
Who?
Abdul Carter.
I think
what I mean by
both of them
that is,
could.
right? So do you agree that Jaxson Dart has every right to do what he did?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone has, and
absolutely.
And Abdul Carter has every right to respond.
Now, I'm just saying in personal levels, those two statements are 100% accurate.
Yes.
Now, when you look at a team level, should Abdul Carter, if he didn't agree with it or had something to say about it, would it have made more sense for him to have that conversation at a locker room level with Jaxson Dart and talk about it versus going out on social media and bringing this controversy into the locker room?
Who brought it in?
Everybody.
Are you saying Jaxson Dart would not have been questioned about this at the same point in time?
I don't think he would have. I think the organization that the organization care that he did it. They didn't say a word. And if they did, they talked to him on the side, right? But they didn't care because he has a right to do this as a American citizen. Yeah. He supports our president. So does more than half this country. Yeah. So that's okay. No, well, if you look at the election, more than half this country supports this president. This is the person that was elected to this office by this country, right? Yes. He's the rightful owner of that office. Whether you agree with his politics or not doesn't matter. The point is that's who's in the office. So therefore, if he supports him, and he obviously does, he has a right to do something like this and shouldn't be called out by a player that way because that player felt it was his responsibility to have to call him out. Who made you?
He did the same thing that Jaxson Dart did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He came out and said, "This is my right to be able to sit here
as
and
a
say
giant."
And to be authentic
it doesn't matter.
But did Jaxson Dart say, "I'm representing the New York Giants out here"?
He did. He started with a Go Blue chant.
Okay, but he said, "I'm the New York Giants. I represent the organization and what they say, and blah blah blah."
Not that, but he said, "Hey, I'm a quarterback for the New York Giants."
In this day and age, especially for athletes and any athlete on any team, you are always representing the team, always, and especially if you go out there and lead the Giants chant, you are representing them.
Was this in New York?
I'm actually not sure
because I don't even know that either. I'm curious.
I'm going to assume so. If you're bringing in the Giants,
I would think if you're
quarterback and he is leading the Giants chants, I'm assuming it is in New York. But I mean, Abdul Carter did the exact same thing Jaxson Dart did.
See, I disagree.
But
I agree with you that he had the right to say what he wants, and in that capacity, you're 100% correct.
Then it's over right there. If he has the right to say what he wants, he said what he wants.
Where it's not over is you've created a team issue. You've brought it into the team now because you're saying it's my responsibility as a representative of this team to say what you did sucked, and we have a problem with it. First of all, you don't speak for the New York Giants. Neither one of you do. You don't speak for the New York Giants. You speak for yourself. If you don't like what he did, You have every right to not like that. I have no problem with that, honestly. What I didn't like is how he invoked the fact that it's his responsibility as a member of this team to be the voice of this team, to say that what you did was wrong. I guarantee you there's people on the team that have no problem with what he did, and there's people on the team that have a problem with what he did, right? Not the whole team is going to think the way Abdul Carter thinks or the way Jaxson Dart thinks. And I guess that's where I struggle with it. If you didn't like what he did and you really want to talk about it, why not pull him aside and have that conversation like two adults? You should be able to do that, right? Why do you got to bring social media into it and start a controversy that now we're having to talk about and the whole sports world's been talking about for a week? You know what I'm saying? That's my. Can I play Boomer? I think Boomer went off the rails.
One thing before we do
go ahead.
that, Rockland Community College was where the rally took
Where's
place,
that?
And that's in Suffern in New York.
Okay, so that was a New York event.
Yes.
So that's why he's doing the whole giant thing. I get that.
Yes.
That makes sense. Here, if you haven't heard it, you said you hadn't. Here's Boomer Esiason, his opinion on this.
This was a real error on the part of Abdul Carter, not on the part of Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart was asked to do something to introduce the president of the United States. How many people get an opportunity to do something like that, regardless of who the president is? You may have hated Barack Obama. You may have hated Joe Biden. And some guys didn't want to go to the White House because they didn't like those presidents, just like other guys didn't want to go to the White House because they didn't like President Trump. But to put this out like a child on social media is ridiculous. And then when I heard, we spoke man to man. Yeah, there was only one man on that call, and that was Jaxson Dart. You were a man who was late to meetings. You were a man who didn't live up to your draft choice. You're a man who wanted to wear number 56. And by the way, your idol, number 56, has introduced Donald Trump numerous times. So I don't want to hear this. So he made another just boneheaded error by going to social media.
What do you think about that?
I think Boomer Esiason really likes to stay relevant. I think Boomer Esiason, as usual, I mean, he had one really good year back in 40 years ago now.
I think it's
been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a while.
I don't think anyone likes to watch his shows pre or post game for football. I think that he likes to stay, he has to stay relevant somehow.
So you think nothing that he said had any value?
I think that he was angry and he took it very personally.
He did take it personally, I feel like.
And I feel like he was doing his best he was saying his opinion, but I think he was purposely just trying to hurt Abdul Carter. This felt like he was trying to personally attack somebody rather than commentate on something that was happening.
Yeah. And he brought in a bunch of the other stuff that I had even dismissed at the beginning of mine, where it's like those two things do not correlate. Yeah.
They don't correlate with the situation. Yeah. I agree.
So I think this is just a dude who is not that popular within the NFL circles. I don't think anyone hates him by any means. I think he's just there. He just exists. Nobody goes out of their way to be like, yeah, let me watch CBS Sports, the NFL Today, because Boomer Esiason is on it. I had to double check which network he was even actually on.
I don't even know. I guess my only thing that I'll finish with is I have no problem with either one of them doing the things that they do. If they want to say things, it's their right to do what they want to do. I just wish that Abdul Carter wouldn't have turned this into a giant issue. I wish he would have dealt with it behind the scenes.
Unintended.
I just wish he would have dealt with it behind the scenes. I think that's what adults should do. I'm not going to agree with everything everyone does. You're not going to agree with everything everyone does, nor should we. That would be a weird society. I wouldn't want to live in that communistic society. I'd rather have people have a lot of different ideas and different values, and they do what they feel is right for them and their families. And Jaxson Dart had every right to do what he did. There should not be a controversy about it. I'll tell you right now, it's no secret. I'm not a liberal or a Democrat. I said, but if I was given the opportunity to introduce a president that was a Democrat that I didn't agree with, I would do it, because I just think that'd be an amazing opportunity to actually introduce the president of the United States. That's a bucket list thing for me. I would absolutely do it. Whether I agree with the guy or not, it doesn't matter. To me, it's about the office. I'm sorry. It is about the office.
You know what's funny? no secret. I tend to lean left. I tend to be liberal.
No.
I know. What's funny for me is in my head, I'm the complete opposite. I wouldn't care which president it was who asked me to introduce them. I would still say no because it just sounds like way too much of a hassle. like for me,
I lazy.
Yes. I wouldn't care who it was, but knowing the amount of like background checks and security and everything that it would take to like go there and do it, be like, no, thank you.
How about you? Would you do it?
There are many things I do for a president, but no, I'm kidding. No,
you wouldn't do it either.
Not for every president. No,
I wouldn't do it.
So you're more
president.
on the political line then.
Yes.
You don't respect the office. You only look at the person.
I think it does depend. I mean, I do think right now where I would differentiate is I do separate between right now the office and the current person that we have right now. I think that's
fair. That's your right to do that.
I think that the previous president was as sleepy as they come. And I do think that is probably more the baseline of just like anybody could have I don't find much animosity or energy thought toward it. Was just a bump on a log. That could have been fine either way.
For me personally, and not to put words in your mouth, but I feel like I've had a lot of people who tend to have the same thought is there's a very direct separation of when I stopped always putting president and person together. And for me, it was with the current president. Like when it was Bush.
If it was Bush, I would be more open and receptive to that.
I understand. And you said that you're left leaning. So I understand why you say what you said. I mean, a left leaning person in this country is not going to want to respect that person in office for a lot of reasons. Some of them I would agree with you. Some of them I would disagree with you. But that's not what the show's about anyway. So it doesn't matter. But I just thought we should talk about it. Everyone's been talking about it. And you know what the great thing about this show is, people? We may not all agree, but here we are and we have a good time doing this. Because you know what? When it's all said and done, politics is not my life.
Right.
I don't live for politics.
And as soon as these cameras are over, me and Phil are going to jump over this table and Weekend Warriors will be down to 2.
Yeah, get our pound of flesh. But speaking of politics, Alexander Noakaz, B2T, excuse me, says football this, football that.
Oh, Alexander is from Germany. He's watching from Germany, and he is a baller.
Nice.
He actually is.
That's what I'm talking about, Alex.
A student that came out here and lived for a year and lived with us.
Oh, nice.
And an exchange student, and he was a heck of a basketball player. His only problem with he's 3'2". Other than that, though, he can ball, and he's if he says Spurs in 7, I got to give that some value.
Right.
But not when I said it.
Not when you said it, no.
No, absolutely.
We got one more final thing here, though.
Yes, and it's a big one. The MLB is currently trying to get together a CBA, at least for the upcoming year. Otherwise, we are looking at a lockout. No season, no go. And for the first time in many years, almost as many years as the Knicks have taken to get back to the finals, the owners have proposed a salary cap. That is their first proposal. The players have not. And so there are finer details here. Like that, I think the more intriguing one is the owners one, even though it's interesting. They have a hard cap of $245.3 million and a hard floor at $171.2 million, which would shrink the disparity among the teams' payrolls by a significant amount. It also calls for a 50-50 revenue split and the centralization of all television revenue. So it's seen as it's seen as just a soft pitch, a soft opening to what we probably will get there.
First of all, I think the floor is too low.
Way too low.
It needs to be a lot higher.
Like what?
Over
really?
I think 225, 250 needs to be the floor.
I'm actually shocked though that
225 million.
To add some context here for those who don't know, 15 of the teams currently
this year
right now, based off of what they want to bump it up to, there are 15 teams currently that are below it, which means
crazy.
Even if you just went with the floor they went with, you would have 15 teams have to spend more. Some of which are like the Angels and they'd only have to spend a couple million. Yeah. Some of which are like the Marlins and they'd have to spend an extra 100 million. But they're not like right now with what they've suggested only 7 teams, or with what Ralph has just suggested, the number he just threw out, only 7 teams would be meeting that floor.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
That is crazy. And the other thing is they're proposing this $245 million cap. How about we propose, I don't know, a profit cap for the owners? You can't make more than this amount of money.
I am fascinated by this.
Why not? Right? If you're saying that a team it has to have a salary cap on it, why don't we say that there needs to be a cap on what you can make every year? Because right now you're making 245% more than you were making back in 2003. Why can't we cap that? The players are only making like 140% more. You're making 290 something percent more. You're obviously making the better of this. Let's cap you. You want to cap us? We're going to cap you.
And whatever you go over goes to the players.
Absolutely. Why don't we do that? You want to cap us? We're capping you. Guarantee you they won't allow that.
I know players are like, yeah, we'll go with a salary floor, but what's this hard cap business?
Yeah. They've already said if they propose a cap, and which they did, we will strike. They're not going to play.
I mean, Bryce Harper practically threatened the commissioner when he tried to go into the Phillies locker room and possibly just bring up the concept of a cap, which I do think is very interesting. I would love to see. I'm going to love watching how all of this plays out over the next 6 months, because the current CBA will expire December 1st of this year. So I am almost positive that they will not get I'll say I'm 100% positive they will not get a deal done before the current one expires. It is just a question of if they can get one done before next season starts. And I'm not really sure if they'll be able to.
And the MLPA, they're not innocent either, right? So the minimum salary is like $780, I think, right now. They're proposing $1.7 million, I think, is what it is, as a minimum salary. That's insanity. Come on, man. I mean, you don't need to get that high. How about we focus on the minor league guys? How about we not let them live in poverty? Because that's what they do right now. How about protect them a little bit? And I'm serious. I want a ownership cap. I think there needs to be a cap on what they can make.
That is astounding to me.
You like that idea?
It sounds communistic, but I love it.
But that's where I'll be a communist. If they're gonna do a cap for salary, let's do a cap for what they can make. Let's be fair.
I'm not opposed to it, depending. My only issue with that is that because these are all greedy billionaires and they're all terrible and soulless, every single one of them.
Every single one of them.
Everyone.
I firmly believe that what would happen if we did that is they would hit the profit cap, and then immediately you would just see everything go out the window in terms of quality control until the next year when they can make more money. But once they've hit their limit, they will all think, why would I continue to spend money on this if I can't make money off of it?
Although I would love, if that was the mentality, I would love that for playoffs, because then regular Joe Schmoes can actually get into the seats for playoff tickets. Because if they're not having to charge up the nose for playoff tickets to make their revenue to get back whatever it is that they lost, then you can go through there.
It's like, it's a good point. Do you think if there's a salary cap and all of a sudden they're spending less money, do you think the ticket prices are going to go down? Do you think the vending prices are going to go down? Of course not.
No,
they're going to continue to go up, right? Because they can continue to make more profit while spending less money.
I mean, I think that even you could even go to some sort of thing of have a percentage, right? Like all of these salary caps right now, at least in the NBA and NFL, they go up proportionally to whatever the revenue is. So I think that you could go there. So to see, I don't even know. What I'm not familiar with is whether or not this was what it would be ultimately based off of the percentages that they've offered, or if it is strictly set at this number and it would be for that at the lifetime of the CBA deal.
No, they said that it would go up based off of revenue. Okay. We got a couple minutes left. Yeah. What I think would be kind of cool is if we go around, Ralph has kind of already said his piece, but if he has something else, he can throw this in here. I think if we all each say one thing that we want to see happen, that we personally would want to have happen in the new CBA.
Yeah, I already said mine. I said the floor at about 225 to 250, and
in the I would think even more than that, the profit
cap.
Yeah.
I echo the floor, because for the health of baseball, that is really good. Like, it's one thing to have the evil empire, but it's another to just have a good quality product all around. Like it behooves nobody to have a I don't even know of yesteryear Pirates and Colorado Rockies series. Like nobody cares, nobody wants that. So I would say the salary floor out of the realistic possibilities.
For me personally, I'm going to look at Ralph when I say this. I'm going to look him dead in his eyes.
Dead in the eye.
Dead in the eyes.
What?
Get deferred contracts out of here. Get them out of here.
I would agree with you.
That to me, that's number one. I have if the Dodgers want to go out and spend $500 million to put together the best team possible, by all means, they should be allowed to do it. That to me, that is not quote unquote ruining baseball.
Yeah.
To me, what ruins baseball is when you go out and you give Shohei Ohtani $700 million, but 670 of it is deferred until after the contract. At that point, you are giving yourself anywhere from a 10 to 20% discount just based off of inflation and how much that stacks over the course of the years. And that to me is what's truly enabling teams like the Dodgers to be able to put all of these stars together, when in reality, during this time span, you're only paying Ohtani $30 million over 7 years or whatever it ended up being. So for me personally, I would like to see them get rid of entirely. I would be fine if you want to do some sort of Bobby Bonilla deal where it's like, yeah, here's $1 million over 100 years or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think you should be allowed to sign people to over $500 million deals. And then they only have to pay less than 10% of that during the actual life of the contract. To me, that's bad.
I also think too, if we were going to go, one thing is cash considerations cannot be allowed. Like it's one thing if it's like a trade exemption, like the NBA does towards manipulating the cap and how you go around there. But one thing, it's another whenever, like, and it's been done before. It hasn't been done in more recent memory. Sometimes it has, but where you're just trading a player just to only receive cash back, it's awful for the product.
All right, everybody, that's our show. What another great show. 2 magnificent hours of us.
Immaculate. Early in the morning at the crack of dawn, here we are.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you giving up part of your weekend and checking out Phil's chest, because I know I was on it all show.
Yeah, you were. Thunder in 7, Spurs in 7. Ralph?
Thunder in 7.
Thunder in 7.
Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you back again next week.